So it's important for us to properly understand our hamster's behavior so that we can understand them a little bit better, because unfortunately hamsters do not speak English. Now the first behavior is bar biting. Now this is a very commonly seen behavior, but this is not a normal behavior. A hamster who is repetitively biting on the bars is actually a stressed hamster, which this is caused by boredom or a too small of a cage. A lot of hamster owners will think maybe my hamster's just hungry or that they're trying to wear down their teeth, but this just isn't the case. A hamster would not choose wire bars to wear down their teeth. They have many other options, such as hard foods as well as natural materials that won't end up damaging their teeth, because in the long run, consistently chewing on wire bars can actually harm your hamster. It can cause broken teeth as well as misaligned teeth, which if your hamster has misaligned teeth and they start to grow too much, they can actually hurt your hamster, as well as your hamster can end up with a bald spot above their nose, which can lead to a wound if they are bar chewing a ton. If your hamster is displaying this behavior, I highly would recommend upgrading your enclosure or switching to something that doesn't have bars, like an aquarium. The next behavior is monkey barring, and this unfortunately is another stress behavior. A lot of hamster owners will think this is a funny behavior or that it means their hamster enjoys climbing, but this sadly isn't the case. A hamster who is constantly monkey barring around the cage is a hamster that is looking to escape. They are checking every area of the cage to one day hope that there's a crack they can skimmy out of, or that there is a door left open that they can escape out of. Keep in mind, hamsters are ground dwellers. You're not going to see them climbing in trees or mountain tops because they suck at climbing. Yes, a hamster can climb bars very, very high. They could probably go as high as the bars go, but that doesn't mean they're good climbers, because generally a hamster will climb very high and then they let go and they fall, and that can seriously injure them. Hamsters are not good climbers. So if your hamster is displaying this behavior, once again, you are going to want to upgrade your cage or switch to something that doesn't have bars. If you're convinced that your hamster enjoys climbing, then you can offer other ways to provide your hamster with climbing, like climbing toys. The next behavior is hissing, screaming, or baring their teeth at you. This is your hamster's way of saying, hey, don't come any closer or I am going to have to bite you in defense. Keep in mind, a hamster is like this big and you are this big. So anything bigger than a hamster is going to be a threat to them because they are prey animals. Your hamster may not understand that you are not trying to hurt them, and it just may take some time for them to get used to you and start to trust you. A hamster with its ears back and its body very close to the ground, similar to a pancake, is a hamster that is a bit nervous and scared. You may have just put them into a big playpen, or maybe you're free roaming them in a room and they're kind of walking around really close to the ground. It's just because they are a little bit unsure, they're a little bit nervous of the situation because there's nothing for them to hide under. To solve this, you can give them more hideouts so that they can feel a little bit more protected. Teeth chattering. Now this is a behavior that I find has two different meanings depending on the situation. The first one is if you've woken up your hamster or you've somehow spooked them and they have a very agitated, loud, teeth chattering noise. This means your hamster is upset and they didn't like what you did. The second situation is if your hamster is doing something they enjoy, like in their burrow eating some food, or maybe you're just sitting and giving your hamster some pets on the head and they kind of have a soft chatter to their teeth. This generally will mean that your hamster is content. Squeaking. Some hamsters are more vocal than others, and some will just squeak because they want to squeak. But if your hamster is constantly squeaking, it can sometimes mean that they are upset or they may have something wrong with them. The next behavior is freezing, and this is a common hamster behavior. Your hamster may be doing something and all of a sudden they freeze into place. Their ears will be up and they will be like a statue, and you're like, is my hamster okay? Are they having a terrible flashback? What is going on? Your hamster may have just heard some little noise, or they may have seen some movement that caught their eye, and they're kind of just wanting to figure out what it is. They're trying to listen in and see what they just heard. Stuffing cheeks. Now if you didn't know, hamsters have two big cheek pouches on each side of their mouth, and they use these like mini backpacks for convenience, I would say, because they can shove these full of objects like food or nesting, and it makes it easy to transport things back to their nest. So if you see your hamster sticking bedding in their mouth, it doesn't mean they're eating it. They're most likely bringing it back to their nest. Scent marking. Now, like a lot of animals, hamsters have scent glands that they use to mark their own territory. Syrians in particular have 2 scent glands on each side of their hips, and they are usually round and darker in color. A lot of people end up thinking that their hamster is sick when they find these, but those are just their scent glands. And if you notice your hamster rubbing its hips on objects in its cage, it is marking their stuff and saying, hey, this is my toy. Grooming. This is another normal hamster behavior. Like cats, hamsters keep themselves clean. They groom themselves quite a bit, actually. And I find that if your hamster is comfortable with you, they'll actually be grooming themselves more often in front of you, because when a hamster grooms, it's kind of a vulnerable position, so they're not going to do it if they're very scared. So if you find your hamster is grooming in front of you, that is a good sign. And the last behavior is burrowing, and this is another basic behavior your hamster will show. In the wild, hamsters are ground dwellers once again, and they actually dig under the ground as deep as 30 inches, creating burrows. They make food chambers, a nest chamber, a bathroom chamber. They spend a lot of time underground. So if you see your hamster digging and burrowing underneath the bedding, that is completely normal. So I really hope this video was able to help you guys understand your hamsters a little bit better. So yeah guys, thank you for watching. Bye!